Smartphones have changed the way people interact with others. Globally, only 48% of the population owns a smartphone, with 17% of those users coming from India and 58% of those users coming from China. India and China are two developing countries where smartphone ownership is growing and will continue to grow. Out of the 77% of Americans who own smartphones, 41% of American smartphone users use their phone to increase their income and professional opportunities. Unlike India and China, it is projected that smartphone sales will start decreasing in the U.S. because people are using their phones for longer instead of trading them in every couple of years. While there isn't as much money to be made in phone sales, there is a lot of money to be made in app development. Businesses profit from app development because it helps them better reach their customer base and connect their employees. For example, WM1 is an app for Walmart employees where they can access pay stubs, schedules benefits, and can contact other employees or managers if needed. As for app development itself, with the right qualifications and experience, an app developer could make an average of $80,000 a year. There's no shortage of app development jobs. According to Indeed.com, there are 2,613 job listings just for Columbus and surrounding areas.
Smartphones are notorious for having sleek user interfaces and easy usability. However, behind that UI is a series of code to make the smartphone work. The two main smartphone creators, Android and Apple, both use vastly different coding language to make their programs work. Android uses JavaScript, one of the more well-known languages out there. However, when creating apps, Android also accepts various other coding languages such as Kotlin, C++, and Lua. Apple, on the other hand, created their own user-friendly coding language that is exclusively for Macs and iOS called Swift. This is supposed to be a very easy-to-learn language that is accessible to the general public. While all languages create basically the same results, the learning curve that comes with each is what makes these languages from smartphone to smartphone different. Whether using Swift, JavaScript, or some other language, the end result is supposed to be the smooth user interface that is seen in typical smartphones.
Cloud computing is the use of a network of remote servers to store, manage, and process data. With cloud computing, students can access their stored data anywhere via smartphone or tablet. Consumers have easy access to it with more flexible costs than traditional storage methods, and businesses can reduce the size of their data centers and as a result save money. Cloud computing is very cost-effective because it allows consumers and companies to store their data without having to spend a tremendous amount of money on hardware and other utilities that would be required to store data without using the cloud. A couple of pros of cloud computing include its cost efficiency, nearly unlimited storage for its users, and users' data is easily accessible to them. Some cons would be technical issues, for example, outages, and security issues like hacks. With the efficiency of cloud computing comes a lot of security issues like data breaches, insecure interfaces or APIs, system vulnerabilities, denial of service, and insufficient due diligence.
All coding is licensed in some way and many times belongs to a certain person or company. For example, the coding that runs iPhones and Macs belongs to Apple, but what about codes that are accessible to anyone? These codes are called open source codes. They include Mozilla Firefox, Python programming, Thunderbird email, PHP scripting, and many others. Like the name suggests, open source codes and software are open for anyone to access and modify at any time. The developers still own the software, but the license does not limit use to just one person or group. Some open source softwares come with a price tag, but many developers opt out of an initial price and instead charge for software support. This way, even though the product is open and free to all users to modify, the developer can still make money from the software. Open source software is great for collaboration and problem solving while still generating revenue for the developer.
A startup called Spotinst uses AI to help companies save around 80% on their cloud computing spending. It does this by clustering excess capacity across various public cloud services, and once there's availability, Spotinst moves its cloud-dependent applications over to the available space.
One of the biggest new ideas that has been growing for the past 10 years is blockchain technology. This has gained popularity mostly with its digital method of payment known as Bitcoin. Blockchain technology has gained a reputation for being very complicated, but anyone can understand the basics. The blockchain is literally a digital chain of blocks. Each block represents a message or transaction of some kind, and whenever one is verified, it's added to the end of the chain. No block can be edited or removed without first removing every other block that is ahead of it in the chain. In this way, no transaction can be tampered with or repeated after it has been verified, unlike transactions made through a third party like with a bank. The more people that use the blockchain makes it even more secure and valuable because then blocks will be added at an even faster rate. The blockchain can currently be used for hundreds of different applications that range from currency to emails and messages. The future for blockchain is still up in the air to an extent, but it is going to be big.